What in the world did I get myself into? Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show of my life. Alright, so in my last video, I asked some of y'all to type up some questions and send them to me, and you didn't hesitate. So thank you. I appreciated every single one of them, although I didn't get to answer all of them. More information of that at the end of the video. Alright, today we're going to be walking through my day and answering some of your burning questions. It's going to be pretty much my day, but me talking way more than I do normally, and that's, you know what, I talk about as much as I do normally. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Let's get into the video. So I'm gonna kick off this video with my first question from Heidi. Do you ever get tired of living in a community, and what keeps you going every day other than coffee? Sometimes community life can get a bit overwhelming, but the amount of support I have here is just, I don't think I'd have it anywhere else. And I'm extremely blessed to be in this community. And what keeps me going every day? This. Getting up at 6:30 to spend time with God, to do devotions. That's the ultimate booster. Alright, let's talk head coverings, shall we? It's one question that I got, and I'll make my hair while discussing why I wear a head covering. Alright, so we got the Bible here. Why do I wear a head covering? Well, my first answer would be the Bible tells me so. Alright, let's turn our Bibles to 1 Corinthians 11, shall we? Verse 4. Every man who prays or prophesies with his head covered dishonoreth his head. But every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. It is the same as having her head shaved. Not my words. For if a woman does not cover her head, she might as well have her hair cut off. But if it is a disgrace for the woman to have her hair cut off or her head shaved, she should cover her head. Further down in verse 10 it says, it is for this reason that a woman ought to have authority over her own head because of the angels. Okay, alright, let me lay out this verse in the way that I've been taught and the way that makes sense to me. Okay, when we're talking about authority, let's take, for example, a police officer. So a police officer has a badge, right? And that badge tells you that he has the authority to put you into prison. And that authority that he has to put you into prison or to give you a ticket comes from the government. It comes from somebody above him, all right? Does that make sense? Are you following me? And so for me, that badge, my head covering, shows the principalities, the powers, and the predators that I am under God's authority, that I have authority over them because God gave it to me. And so yeah, this piece of cloth right here, can you believe it? You know, it's really just a symbol. It's not how big or small or dotted or undotted or colorful or uncolorful it is. It's a symbol. It's not your salvation. It's not your ticket to heaven. It's a symbol. That's what I believe about the head covering, and I believe very strongly about it. I understand a lot of people believe differently, and I don't fault them, I don't judge them. So for me, it's more than just a tradition, it's more than just religion, it's a conviction in my heart, in my soul. Do I make sense? So that's my thoughts on the covering. You asked, I answered. Let's get on with this, shall we? Another question was, does your church allow nails and makeup? Well, I was kind of asking for that one in my previous video. So here's the thing. It's not forbidden, but it's not encouraged either. Because, and I quote, beauty should come from the heart. And I agree. See, here's a general rule of thumb. Use your own discretion. Use your coconut. Don't put so much makeup on that if someone would give you a slap, half your face would be off, you know? I guess every girl is different. Some girls like to use makeup, some don't. For me personally, if I have a tomato growing out of my forehead like I do right now, I'm gonna cover it up. I'm gonna use this thing and I'm gonna cover it up, you know? It's not that complicated. See? Boom. I feel more comfortable as an individual, as a human being, and you don't even notice. I have successfully not offended my brother. Therefore, yes and no to that question. Apparently I've been neglecting my womanly duties at making dresses and doing other womanly things. So I'm gonna be pretending to sew, so my mother is like, yay, good job, Adina. And I'm gonna be answering your questions. It's called multitasking. So one of the questions was, what's your dress code? And for that, I'll be back. This is our Four Pit Farms Christian Community Standards of Practice. I'm gonna rely heavily on this for my questionnaire. This is our church's constitution. Our dress code is modesty. So modesty, and I quote, as the condition of dressing and holding oneself in a way as not to draw attention to oneself, but rather to show that we are representing another kingdom. Enough said. Basically, for men, shirts should be tucked in, just don't walk around like a bum. And for women, women should be dressed fully and loose-fitting clothes so as not to draw attention to their bodies. Plunging necklines, t-shirts, short dresses, or contour-hugging clothes are discouraged as they are inappropriate for women. So yes, that's our dress code. We can wear basically whatever colors we want. I feel like it's a way of art. It's a way to express yourself, the color and style of your clothing. Some ladies like to have two pieces, and me, I just have one piece. And so yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way we do it. That's our dress code. Katie asks, does your community ever split up into another community? Yes, she does. We just split like 2 years ago, I think. Literally down the street. It's like, in summertime we can quad there, so it's very close. So clearly I wasn't informative enough in my introduction video. Here's my full name. I never used to like my full name, but since you asked for it, I got teased as a kid by it, okay? So my name is Adina Georgine Walter. Chew on that for a bit. Johnny asks, what colony are your parents originally from? So my dad comes from Ripstone Colony. He was 1 year old when he came to Fort Pitt, so does that even count? My mom comes from Smoky Lake Colony. When's your birthday? March 20. Write it on your calendar. Okay, so somebody was asking, tell your responsibilities as a young Adia in Fort Pitt. Oh yeah, young Adia are like young girls, young ladies like myself. She's curious about how my community differs, if at all, from the traditional Hutterite way of life, with the women being the homemakers and the men being the dough makers. We are the dough makers. No, but in all seriousness, the men usually make most of the dough around here. We do the caterings, we do the food, and all that stuff that gets the men fueled so they can make the dough. You can't make this up. Watch. This is why, where's my best friend? This is why I sew with this thing. So I sewed on my pocket on this side, and then I went to the bottom of the dress and sewed the second part on. So now my dress looks like this. This is not modest. This is what you don't want to do. I'm gonna go fix this. And here's what it's supposed to look like. Much better. The pocket is here. Everything turned out. I knew I was capable of doing something right. You gotta believe in yourself. So my top is done. My bottom is done. Stitch them together. Well, here she is. Look at that. Obviously, it's not perfect. There are some minor imperfections that, if you're a professional seamstress, you will notice. But I haven't done this in a while, so cut me some slack. Turn a blind eye. It would be a nice wedding dress, providing that we had any weddings coming up. Okay, it's a sensitive subject. Moving on. Testing. All right, let's get down to business, shall we? So I got a few similar questions that I would like to address. First one, Lisa asks, do you interact with other colonies? No. Not really. Kyle asks, how much interaction does Forpit do with Darius Light, Lega Light, and Schmied communities? Very little to none. Yeah. See, the reason why is because, there's a big reason why, but the condensed reason why that I'm gonna send up on national TV is gonna be very unpolitic-y. Forpit is not really affiliated with the Hutterite churches anymore. It happened way back when in 1998, before Forpit was even blessed with this. So in other words, I wasn't yet born, so I had nothing to do with it. But the Hutterite church was like, you know what, Forpit, you're not conforming to our little box that we put you in, so you go. Please leave the premises. And then Forpit was like, you know what? We will. You kicked us out, but we will blossom into a olive tree and it will reap olives. And so that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to grow some really good olives for olive oil. It's a biblical term. If you don't read your Bible, you're not gonna get my awesome jokes. So go read your Bible. Anyways, so yeah, that's the long and the short of it, mostly the short of it. So yeah, we aren't affiliated with the Hutterite Church anymore. And so no, we don't interact with colonies that much. Okay, is visiting allowed from Manitoba communities? Sure, why not? As long as your folks are okay with it, my folks are okay with it. Ouch. Listen, I am aware that what I just said could be borderline offensive, and if I have offended anybody, I apologize. It's not my intentions, but there is no way to talk about this subject without offending anybody. I knew that, so I just tried to bring a little light to the situation. I was debating on putting it up, and then I figured it's been 23 years. Somebody's bound to start talking about it. So, hopefully in my next episode, my elders will give a better, well-rounded answer to that question. So some of y'all are wondering about my family and their names and ages and all that. You want a formal introduction? All right. So me, guess we'll start with me. I'm Adina, in case you didn't know it, and I am 20 years old. And what do I do for a living? And I live for a living. This is my parents.
And you are barely readable.
Y'all know this one over here.
Use the term
Y'all know him. His name is Ruben. And then that's my mom. Her name is Annie. Ages are not mandatory or necessary. This is Raymond. He is a ripe age of 24.
Man, I'm old.
Sure are. This is Brian.
Hi, hello.
He's a ripe age of 22.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
This is Brandon. He is 17. He has a YouTube channel. He likes food. He's gluten-free. This is Robert. He's not my brother, but he might as well be. Spends most of his waking hours in this house, plays foosball a lot, sleeps here, eats here, adopted sort of thing.
Okay.
This is Janelle. She is 15, right?
Your favorites.
Yeah.
Adina's favorite.
Ultimately. That's Derek. He's 13 years old. This one is my biological brother. This is Ariel. She is... How old are you?
8.
She's 8 years old. This is Geneva Kyra. She looks like a picture of neglect. Look at this pretty dress. Who made it for you?
Adina.
Yeah, she did. Yes, she did. How old are you?
4.
4. Cute. And we'll save the best for last. This is Danielle. Pretty sure y'all have seen her. Danielle, what are you doing? She is 1 going on terrible 2, as you can see. Danny, Attends, tout est temps. Well, the good part about this is she knows how to clean up after herself. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
I have a question here that says, I'm wondering how are people motivated to earn excess money in their business if all get paid the same? And I want a guy to answer it, and there's nobody here. I think they're all on coffee break right now. But I'm gonna get a guy to answer this, just in case y'all are tired of seeing, all this. What's up? Okay, Ruben. How are people motivated to earn excess money in their businesses if all get paid the same?
We don't all get paid the same amount of money. You get paid by the hours you work. How does anybody else get paid? You work by the hour.
So what do you do if some people work less? What's the disciplinary action
Then
you
you
take?
get paid less.
You know what? That's quite simple.
That is quite simple.
Oh, well, thank you for your input. Let me watch you get paid for your
You
work.
have to step down.
Yeah, there are so many other things that makes a business grow and it makes a business flourish. You gotta treat your people right. Get them involved. That's what you need to do. Engage in the business. First of all, he has to love what he's doing. If he doesn't love what he's doing, his job is not going to produce. And I guess they have to be let in on finances. They have to know what's going on and what's coming in and what's going out.
So all the brothers are enlightened.
They all know what is going on in the business. So, yeah.
A question here states, how does your community make money? A better question would be, how don't we make money? We make money with a lot of different businesses in the community. I'm not gonna go on and name them because knowing me, I'm gonna miss a few and it's not gonna be, I'm just not gonna do it just to save me from future run-ins. Another question, how are jobs and tests assigned? Here, it kind of depends on your talents. Depends on you. What are you good at? If you're good with wood, you go to the carpenter crew. If you're good with cars, you go to the mechanic shop. If you're good with animals, you go to the pig barn. So Dora asks, do you ever have fun? I mean, obviously you do. You're a fun-loving person by the looks of it. Thanks. I am. But you are always working. Thanks. I like to think of myself as always working, but see, it's just what I showcase in the video. I mean, I kind of choose what to show y'all and what not to. Anyways, do you ever play games with your youth group or your family or whatever? What do you do for recreation? Let me show you. Look like a mess. Anyways, right now it's one of our girls' birthday party and we celebrate that as young people, like together. So that's what we're heading to now. That could be potentially classed as fun. Melanie. Wow. and I'm going to be answering a few faith questions that I got. All right, first up, Danae asks, how did you come to be a follower of Jesus Christ? My dear, that is a long, dramatic story. Too long for this video. So I became a Christian when I was 17 years old, and then when I was 19 I kind of strayed from the faith a bit, and then at the beginning of 2020 I came back to Jesus, because that really is it's the only way to go. The longer version, well, I'll save that for a rainy day, and it would have to be raining pretty hard, so check your forecasts. Next question, how did your colony become Christians? That's also a very, very long story. The condensed version would be, we had a big revival in 2006. Next question. Have you been baptized? Does 4 pit stress on baptizing too young like other Hutterite colonies do? Yes, I have been baptized. I was baptized at the ripe age of 17, and I think that would be the limit. Like, we wouldn't go under 17. Because when you grow up in a Christian home, in a Christian environment, and you get taught this stuff like almost every day or every week of your life, then by 17 or 18, you kind of have an inkling of who you are. You know who you are, and you know what you gotta do to get right with God. And so, if by that age you have accepted Christ as your Savior, if you're born again, then yeah, we baptize. But that's the absolute requirements. You have to be born again, and there has to be fruits of your conversion. Yep. Next question, are you having Bible study / fellowship evenings? We are wondering how you do it, if you have any. Okay, so yes, we have a lot of fellowship and Bible studies during the winter time, because that's kind of when we're all at home. In the summertime, you know, we live in a farm, we're everywhere. So in wintertime, we have youth meetings with my dad. He is the youth leader, and so we have that once a week, and then we come together, just the youth, to do another Bible study. And then the men from age 25 and 30-ish up, like all the way up, they have leadership training. They do that once a week too. My dad runs that too. And then we have a parent meeting. That's where all the parents come together once a week, and they have a discussion and fellowship and just sort of a Bible study / teaching how to be good parents. And that also happens once a week, and that is also run by my dad. So he is a very busy man. And then of course we sing with the young people like once a week. Our winters are pretty packed, pretty spiritually packed. So I'm actually supposed to be sitting down and editing my videos. In the meanwhile, I'm going to be answering all your computers, gear, software, editing, video questions. So I also compiled these questions because there are a lot that are kind of the same. Alright, so first one. Okay, so Micah asks, will you get to keep your YouTube money, or will it go in a community pot? And I'm pretty sure there's some 4-pitters here that are wondering the same thing. Let me expound on that. Here's the thing. If you want to be a writer, all you need is a paper, a pen, and a brain. You can be a writer. If you want to be a painter, all you need is a canvas and paint and a brain, and you can be a painter. If you want to be a carpenter, all you need is a hammer and nails and wood. If you want to be a filmmaker, on the other hand, you need camera, you need lenses, you need gear, you need computer, you need editing software, you need a music software, mics, you need tripods, lights, drones, a gimbal, batteries. You need money. You need money. You need money. Right now I am bugging all my cousins with a drone for some drone footage, and let's say I don't want to do that anymore, so I'm gonna use that money to buy myself a drone, and then I'm gonna upgrade all my gear, and you know, it takes a lot of money to keep this rolling. And so that's what I'm going to do. If eventually I get more than I need, I'm gonna give it back to the community, because the community is essentially paying for my well-being and my livelihood. Hope that answers your question. Next question, how do you go about the process of making a YouTube video? Okay, so I would shoot all the footage, I would dump it into my computer, and then I'd go looking for some good music that goes along with what I have in my brain, and then I just spend 2 or 3 days editing the entire footage. I usually work from after supper till midnight, sometimes a little later, sometimes a lot later. Dad, if you're watching this, just skip over it, just, you know. And then I upload it, and it takes about 1 hour to upload due to my bad internet around here. Let me tell you, I am a nervous wreck because I'm always scared that it's not well received, you know? And as for my editing software, right now I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. Learning how to use that thing shaved a few years off my life, and I think I got like 5 gray hairs throughout the entire process. But once I got into it, once I learned how to use it, it's awesome, and I would not use another editing software. It does a trick for me. It makes me look smart. It makes me look, you know, like I know what I'm doing. If you do video a lot, use Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, next question. Do you plan to attend college for film? I would love to attend college for film. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because college, you know what college is. I can't see myself, a young Christian girl, in college. So I'm gonna go back to editing and try to, you know, get this video up. Margareta Frese. This one is for you. Du hast mich will Deutsch reden? Jetzt will ich Deutsch reden. Well, liebe Leute, das ist halt unaussprechlich kalt. Aber ich will meine Fenster aufmachen und will frische Luft schnaufen. Because that's just what we do around here. Well, this was challenging. It was also very good for me. I'm glad I did it. But the next Q&A is gonna be at 10K subscribers. Just putting that out there because I'm guessing that's gonna take a few months and I'm gonna need all that time to recuperate. I'm sorry I didn't get to answer all your questions, but there is a second part coming, and in that part we're gonna be answering all the church, community, joining the community, relationship, boy-girl stuff, you know, all those juicy details. Alright, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. See you at 10K. Just kidding.